not to keep it long, so we can jump into the discussions, I will just navigate through the UK reach and Brexit outcome, basically. I think I can almost say that with a few caveats. So this is really interesting for me because for the past 3 years I was presenting at different conferences, webinars, how potential outcome might look like when it comes to Brexit, how to prepare for different scenarios. And here we are, and it seems that finally there is some kind of clarity in this area, which was quite unclear for a long time. So everybody was asking me at different conferences and presentations, so will Brexit happen? Will the UK reach start to apply? Will EU reach still be applied in the UK? How this will play out? As Erwin mentioned, neither I have a crystal ball, so I cannot see the future certainly, and nobody can probably. But what seems to be quite a good estimate of future outcome seems to me are the betting odds. So if you take a look at the betting odds now, it seems to be 70% chance, at least according to the bookmakers, that there will be some kind of trade deal between the EU and the UK. The numbers changed hugely in the past few weeks or few months, but now the governments of the UK and the European Commission, EU representatives, member states seem to be quite positive about getting some kind of trade deal, but it should not affect the chemicals regulations in the sense that was long foreseen for several past years, that UK would be somehow affiliated to EU REACH. Now it seems to be clear that it will not be so. So the UK administration worked intensively on UK regulations, UK REACH, which is basically mirroring EU REACH to a large extent. And only in a recent few months, it seems to be decided that the UK is no longer pursuing any kind of affiliation with ECHA, any kind of access to European data, European markets. So it will be completely two separate markets when it comes to chemicals and chemical regulations. So even ECHA at their website now has the news that there are 3 months to complete UK dossier transfers, and the same would start to apply from the other side. So let's take a closer look how the UK post-Brexit regulations might look like, and quite likely will look like. Facts first, the transition period is ending at the end of this year. It is highly unlikely that anything would happen to extend it further. So all changes will start to apply from the 1st January of 2021. And so I will be focusing on the UK side of things. If Simona can help me out here, just to see how many participants in the audience we have that are affected by Brexit. So I will start another poll just to see if this is relevant for you, and then it will give me some hint how detailed I should be in my presentation. So I will give you half a minute to vote if your business is affected by Brexit. And then we will start looking at the UK post-Brexit chemicals regulations in more detail. So Simona, I think time is up. Can you bring the results on the screen, please? Okay, so seems like my talk will be quite relevant here. So let's jump right to it. So, as I mentioned, UK is no longer seeking any kind of favor from the EU in terms of chemicals, and the UK reach will be pretty much mirroring the EU reach. But what that means, in fact, that if you are trading in the UK and in the EU, you will have basically double obligations. So the obligations will be basically the same. The data requirements, registration requirements will be pretty much the same. But if you are trading in the EU and in the UK, you will have to do it on both sides of the border, both sides of the channel. Let's not forget that it's not only about REACH, but of course a whole bunch of other legislations is affected by this. Some of them are quite clear. When it comes to some of them, there's still some uncertainty, for example, for poison centers. But let's start with REACH, and let's focus on REACH for the time being, because it seems to be clear now. So what the UK REACH has foreseen when it starts to apply is that there will be some kind of transition period, or I think I can call it a kind of pre-registration period for the existing holders of EU registrations and existing downstream users who will be relying on existing EU registrations. So if you are a holder of an EU REACH registration, you will be able to notify the UK authorities before 30th of April of 2021, so in 4 months, and that will give you additional 2, 4, or 6 years to file a full registration dossier in the UK. And the same applies if you are a UK downstream user. So if you will be basically importing a substance to the UK, relying on existing EU registration, you can do basically the same before 27th of October of 2021. And that will again buy you some time, 2, 4, or 6 years to go for the full registration. As I mentioned, the information requirements should be pretty much the same. It is expected that if any changes are to be made, they will be published very, very soon. But as far as I could see, no changes were published when it comes to information requirements or data requirements for envisaged registrations in the UK. And this whole mechanism, which is in legal terms called grandfathering, should be free of charge in terms of fees to the UK authorities. So if you have existing EU REACH registrations, or if you are relying on ones from your suppliers, you should be able to do this notification and grandfathering of existing EU REACH registration free of charge without any fee to the UK authorities. There was quite some discussion in the past few years if the UK will also allow non-UK companies to act as only representatives in the UK, and now it's clear that not. So the mechanism will be exactly the same in the EU. If you want to have an only representative, it has to be a UK-based company. And getting back to those 2, 4, and 6 years of transitional period, there are, so if you do this notification, which I call sort of pre-registration, if you do this, then you will have 2 years in case your substances are high volume, high tonnage substances, or highly toxic substances like CMRs or very toxic to aquatic organisms. You will have 4 years transitional period or grace period before filing the full registration if you are in the 100 or more tonnage band, or if you are dealing with candidate list substances, so SVHCs, and the rest will have a deadline in 2027, in 6 years after this transitional period. So by 27 October 2027, all substances which will be which will be imported or manufactured in the UK should be over 1 ton per year should be registered in the UK. Then we come to the authorizations. As all of you know, the authorization process is a really demanding and complex one. So for the time being, it is envisaged that UK will accept EU authorizations to be used in the UK, basically. So if you will be relying on an EU REACH authorization and using the substance in the UK in line with the rules set out by that authorization and set out by your supplier of the authorized substance, then you will be able to use the substance in the UK. Of course, when it comes to new authorization applications, you will have to file it in the UK. The UK authorities are very active and I believe quite transparent and trying to raise awareness and inform all the stakeholders. So the guidances and brief information and as well as complex information published by the UK authorities seems to be quite comprehensive. So if you have any further doubts or need any further information, the UK HSE website is the first place to start. And then, of course, there are other important information channels which are informing about the outcomes of Brexit on both sides of the border. In terms of chemical regulations, I tried to name the 5 really most useful in my eyes, which I would put on the top of the list. Take-home messages. This slide was always full of information. Wait until it's clear. And for the first time in the last 3 years, I had to change it because time to get prepared is now, with only 3 months to go. This slide I haven't changed from the last presentation because the first thing you need to do is to map how your suppliers and your customers are ready for Brexit. And not talking only about your direct suppliers, but also indirect and EU-based suppliers. So basically trying to get as much information about your supply chain and the players in your supply chain, how they are prepared for Brexit, and if they know what to do, if they are covered by registrations, if they are preparing for grandfathering their existing registrations, transferring only representatives to different entities, and so on. If you don't get sufficient evidence, try harder, ask again. And if you still don't get sufficient evidence from your suppliers that you will not be left alone or without continued supply, then it's time to start considering different suppliers, alternative suppliers for your key chemicals. Still, there is the don't panic button available, and it should be working 24/7 with any decent consultants. And I hope I can count ourselves in that category. So if you need any kind of support in UK REACH compliance with our London-based office, we can give you full support. So that was a quick tour through Brexit and post-Brexit UK REACH regulations.